So what we're doing in this video is heading up to the mountains around the dam at night and exploring and looking for the two species of barred frogs that inhabit this dam. There is another species that lives in another creek close by, but yeah, we're looking for these two endangered species of frogs, and yeah, we're just going to have a look at those.
This guy here is the amazing giant barred frog. These guys are the second largest frog in Australia, so that's a pretty impressive animal right there. They'll get up to 12 centimeters long, so they can get a bit bigger than this guy. So he's not quite full grown, but almost. He's definitely breeding age.
Leaves on him.
Yeah, not quite full grown. These guys also have some of the largest tadpoles of any Australian frog. They range from southeast Queensland down to about Gosford in New South Wales, being their southern limit. Unfortunately, they are endangered, and they have previously disappeared from a lot of sites where they used to be found, but they're starting to make a bit of a comeback now. One of their main threats is chytrid fungus, which also threatens a lot of other species of frogs. It's a nasty fungus disease that frogs can catch. So you can see, just look at the size of him. It's just a very large animal for a frog. These guys live in creeks, streams, and occasionally dams in rainforest and wet kinds of bushland along the east coast. They make a deep grunting call. They breed in spring and summer. You can see the male, this is a male, he's got very grippy front neutral pads here. On the front, these neutral pads are what they use to grip the females during amplexus. Look at that. These guys only breed in streams, so they won't actually, even if they live in a dam, they won't actually breed there. They'll actually go to a stream to breed. They need flowing water to for the eggs to hatch and for the tadpoles to live a healthy life. You can see they've got these beautiful markings, all of these patterns here on the jaws, these spots, these bars on the legs, which gives them the name of barred frog, and that helps them camouflage. Look at that, how we camouflaged in with the leaf litter there, just perfectly. He's got these webbed feet, and that helps him swim. They're very good swimmers, very strong animals, and they'll jump in the water or jump away. They'll use those strong legs to jump away from predators. You can see him here on his thighs. He's actually got these yellow spots, and what he'll do if there's a predator coming, like a bird, he'll actually show those and spring out his legs like that and make it look like he's poisonous, which of course he's not. That's the giant barred frog there, Australia's second largest frog. What a cool animal. So you can see his eyes have more yellow around the pupil as opposed to a great barred frog. I keep getting them mixed up. Like this because he's going to jump away. But this guy here is the great barred frog. They're actually the smallest mixophis species on the central coast and one of the smallest species overall. You can see this is about as big as he gets, about 8 centimeters, which for an Australian species of frog is still pretty large. So yeah, the others get a lot bigger. They're a nice frog. These guys are known for jumping. They're a lot better jumpers than the great bards. I mean, than the giant bards. These are the great bards, and they're better jumpers because they're smaller and they've got much more stronger and more elasticy legs, which they use to escape from predators. You can see he doesn't have the mottled patterning like the giant bard did on his legs. These guys range from the central coast of Queensland to just south of Sydney at about Canberra. And these guys are the only barred frog species to actually breed in ponds and dams as well as streams, which is pretty unique, so they're a pretty cool frog. These guys will have amplexus, which is breeding in the water, and then the female will kick up the babies, the eggs. She'll kick them up onto the bank, where they'll stay until the next rains, which will wash them down into the pond, and then they'll hatch into tadpoles. And they have reasonably large tadpoles as far as frogs go. And these guys don't have very many markings on the upper jaw here. You can see he's got a few, which is a lot for this species, but not quite as many as the giant barred frog. Yeah, there he is. So it's a nice little great barred frog. It's another cool species. Let's put him down. Okay, so here we've just found another great barred frog and another giant barred frog right next to each other, about 5 meters away. Snake. Swear I just heard it slither me. So let's take a look at both these frogs. So you can see the difference first of all in size. Alright, that's a massive difference. This is about as big as these guys get. These great bards. They don't get much bigger than this. You can see what he's doing. He's puffing up his body. He's just puffed himself up like a big balloon and he's acting dead. He's put all his legs out flimsy. And he's just going to act dead, hoping that we think that he's dead and don't eat him. And this guy isn't really doing that, although he's going a bit limp. You can see the size of this one, and this isn't almost full size. They do get slightly larger, but this is a good size. And you can see this. Look at that difference. It's just massive. So you can see this one has these nice yellow and black mottled patterns on his legs, whereas this one just has those normal bars. That's one of the most noticeable differences. This one has smooth skin on the back, whereas the giant actually has knobbly skin, kind of like a cane toad. See that? Knobbly skin. And the eyes. With this guy, I'll stop playing dead and open his eyes. You can see these guys have a brighter yellow around their eyes, whereas these guys have more of a darker brown. You can see these guys have more of a greenish grey-brown pattern, whereas these guys just more have a leaf brown, exactly like these rainforest leaves. These guys are both insectivorous primarily, and they will also eat very small mammals, other frogs and reptiles, and of course spiders, scorpions. So let's put these frogs. This little guy here is an eastern water skink. This is only a reasonably small one. They do get to about that long. They get a bit bigger and a bit fatter. These guys are very common and versatile on the east coast. They live in just about any environment with fresh water, so creeks, dams, lagoons, lakes, ponds, rivers, anything really where there's water. They're often seen around the waterfalls around these nice freshwater areas where there's a lot of rocks, and they'll hide in the rock cracks. They're a small diurnal species of skink. They're great swimmers, if you see here. Oh, there you go. They're very good swimmers. They use that tail like a rudder. They'll eat anything from insects to plant matter. So they're omnivores. They're an egg-laying species. Cute little skink. Release him up here.
We'll be right back.